Too many people don't know that the catch-22 to getting into the market on a 5% deposit, if you're buying in the wrong area at the wrong time and you refinance, pull out and go get another property, there is a scenario where that property can be worth less than what the finance is owing on it. I have a personal horror story from a buyer's agent that I worked with. Bought a property off a buyer's agent in Lavington in New South Wales. Bought it for $393,500, sight unseen. As you do as a client, you expect the buyer's agent to know what they're getting into for you. He significantly understated the amount of work required to get it into a tenantable condition. Man, I spent about $60,000 in 8 months of my time getting that into a tenantable condition. I lost rental income for 8 months. You name it, everything was broken.
The 5% deposit scheme on its initial inception was to help lower income borrowers get access to the market. A 5% deposit on $1 million house, that's a $950,000 loan.
Yeah.
That's an owner-occupied loan, and $6,000 a month is going to your mortgage. If you can't afford it anymore, that's on you. And we're not going to increase supply of anything, so your inflation's going to go up, so your interest rates are going to go up.
Yeah. What are the warning signs? You know?
Yeah, well, the warning signs are,
Welcome to the Finance Show with Joe. He's Joe, I'm Michael, and we have a very special guest today, Nick Khzouz. Is that how I pronounce your name correctly?
Perfect.
Nailed it. I'm becoming Lebanese myself.
I don't think he's left, but we'll go with it.
potato.
High energy, cut that. We welcome Nick today because he's a buyer's agent with a great story and great stories, I should say, as well, all surrounding the property market, the wins and losses, and honestly, a few tips for you guys at home.
Just before we do go any further, I do want to say that all the advice that you hear on this show is general in nature. Only speak to your finance professional. Nick, I want to start off with how you and I first connected. Before we get into anything else, before we get into property or anything like that, because we're going to do a quick snippet. Liam's going to show the reaction and everything, but Nick gave me something that is super sentimental and probably the best gift I've ever received, like ever. He got me a WWE belt, a championship belt.
You should have heard the squeals, audience.
We'll cut this thing. We'll cut that in. Acknowledge him. He's the goat, not me. Oh my God. Oh my God! Did you know this was coming?
No, hell no. How would I know? Everyone's just as surprised as you are.
What the fuck is this, bro? You're the tribal chief. But Nick, just tell the world how we connected and how you ended up on this show.
Look, I've networked with a lot of brokers. In everything that we do, we have to meet new people and get out there. But Joey is the only broker that I have networked with that we have a mutual love over WWE.
Yes, they definitely do.
So,
my wife's going to kill you, by the way.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we love WWE. I think I put up a post, something to the effect of I went to WrestleMania 41 last year in Vegas with my wife.
Yeah.
That was a bucket list item. We ticked it off and I used property to do it, coincidentally, like an equity release and stuff like that. So good story to talk about. You resonated with that. And then we just hit it off in the DMs, just talking about what you did in, back in your days with WWE.
Yeah.
It's a good connection point.
We'll put some pictures up. I wasn't always this professional individual that's, trying to write policy or rewrite policy. You know who I'm talking about right now. Nick and I started to share some stories. And he was like, oh, this is how I went to a WWE event. I was like, oh man, this guy does not know what war he is starting right now.
It was a real rom-com start to a relationship.
I sent him like a photo of me dressed as Penta Zero Miedo, which is Pentagon Jr. for anyone that's on the indies, which is just a luchador. Oh, man, I have to get super specific, which is a WWE wrestler. And then he sends me one back. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to have to bring out the ultimate trump card. Yeah. I went as the full Demon King to Halloween once, which is body painted in full. You've seen the picture, like it was proper. Like
it was a proper job, and I had nothing to top it, so I kind of left it there.
I can't imagine, Liam. If we can get that, source that photo.
Acknowledge me. But it was a really surprising gift. But Nick, we also have some other mutual things that we've both gone through in our lives as well. You're about to have your first baby as well, so congratulations for that.
Thank you.
As you know, I've had my first recently. But there's a second thing. You also worked at Macquarie. So tell us about the start of your professional life.
Oh gosh, well, Macquarie was on the.
I wouldn't say the start, but tell us how you led up to starting the B Money Property Group.
So, decade-long career in law, banking, and finance. I started off. I'm a lawyer by trade, so I went through, got my law degree, got admitted, Figured out it wasn't for me. Did 2.5 or so years at Clayton Utz at a law firm, doing a lot of banking and finance stuff. Figured out it wasn't for me. Then I hopped into banking and finance, more in the compliance and the risk world. So I'd been doing that for pretty much 7.5 or so years, and built up a pretty good resume. So I hopped between there to Rabobank, which not many people surprisingly know of. Rabobank. Then I moved into PwC, did a bit of consulting. Fun fact, I used to work in this very building.
I was going to say PwC's here. Yeah.
Yeah,
18 floors under.
Yeah. And that's good for you, right? PTSD. So thank you very much for welcoming us.
Comes into the elevator, is having a freak out.
I swear, no, I rocked that belt up on the elevator. Yeah. I'm back here. I'm going to show them why I'm back here.
He's the champion.
Yeah, and then after that, moved over to Combank, did a stint there. And then Macquarie Bank.
Yeah.
Macquarie was the last 3 years of my corporate career. And throughout all that time, I accumulated a few properties in my portfolio.
Yeah.
By no means am I a millionaire. I'm not Harry Triggeroff. I'm no one like that. I just developed a very, very good passion for property. One that if I ever had to do anything for a career, I found my thing.
Yeah.
And I jumped effectively headfirst into it. So I tried to actually get a outside business activity approval from Macquarie to set this up on the side.
Yeah.
They threw an ultimatum my way and told me, you got to quit. Or you do that pretty much. No, you can't have 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Wow.
Really?
So they pushed me in the right direction where I said, you know what, man, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And
It's a positive way to look at it, though.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
But you know what, I have to say, I wouldn't have been in the position to take that risk if I didn't have my head screwed on. I had my money right. I had everything right in the back end. I wouldn't have afforded to take that risk. So jumped head first. Now, how we ended up in B Money Property was all the properties and all the cars that I've bought, the finance were done through B Money Finance.
Yeah.
So through Bora.
Yeah.
Bora was my guy.
Bro, Bora's a G.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put Bora was I think he started the social media videos around the same time or just before me or something like that. But man, Bora's like
He's the guy.
no, but like this is what I love about him. He's so relatable. You know, he's so he makes sure he connects with people and just helps them try to understand what's possible. Because like, he's Turkish, right?
Yep.
I'm Lebanese. So we come from a similar background. Okay. He's more European, I'm more Arab. We know this. But it's when people come to Australia, they don't know what is possible for them. And
like as newly arrived.
yeah. And like, for example, you're Croatian, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Every WOG, what do they say about the banks? They hate the banks. They're sitting there and they're going, no, they don't never lend money and all that stuff. But that's why like you need people of our color
With wogs and cash.
to be able to do stuff. But no, is it, bro? Like, shout out to Bora. Just wanted to put that one out there. But yeah, no, he's the J.
I love him. But off camera, I'm going to roast him. So Bora, if you're watching,
Yalla. So you connected with Bora?
yeah, connected with him. So as you know, he'd done all the finance for myself. So when the time came for me to branch out and I was going to go out on my own, I had my company and everything set up. I hit him up and I'm like, let's do some referral work together, man. We know each other. We trust each other. You know, we get along. And then he hit me back with, why don't we do something more permanent together? Why don't we do B Money Property?
Yeah.
That was the beginning of a 3 or 4 month long discussion, which eventuated into B Money Property, which we officially launched in July last year.
Well, congrats for that.
Thank you, man.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So tell me something about like what type of clients are you advocating for, or what type of properties are you trying to source for your particular client group? Are we looking at, you know, the individual that's a high-end professional, you know, solicitor that wants to go buy a development site, or are we looking at off-the-plan properties? What is B Money Property specializing in right now?
So B Money Property, we're very, very big advocates for going for homes that are typically established builds. You know, we're talking 70s, 80s, 90s type of build.
Yeah.
Good foundations, good bones, stuff where if you have an appetite to do a cosmetic renovation, add a bit of value, that's where we really love to dive into that level of detail, find really good value there. So we don't do off the plan or anything like that just because we don't like to navigate in that world. So we stay clear of that, but everyone has their own flavor and that's fine, right? Our ideal client, they come from all walks of life, man. I've had clients that are tradies and they've got 3 or 4 properties. They want to buy their 5th and build that portfolio even further. I've also had, you know, first time buyers where they just want to get their foot into the market and they're very keen to do it. The catch to that, to dealing with people who are first time buyers, is they're not always aware of what actually is needed to get into the market. Not just in terms of having a 10% deposit or even a 5% deposit, but in terms of if you're going to go 95 or 90% LVR or even borrow the full amount, you have to understand the holding cost behind it. You know, too many people don't know that $700,000 asset, if you borrow 95%, you're going to have to pay maybe $1,500, $2,000 a month to maintain that property. A growth asset, not a yield asset.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on the 5% thing. I just
Well, we've spent too many episodes talking about it.
Let's talk about it.
Nick brings up a great point. But it's not being explained thoroughly enough that a 5% deposit, like on $1 million house, okay, you get a 5% deposit. That's a $950,000 loan.
Yeah.
That's an owner-occupied loan, and $6,000 a month is going to your mortgage.
Do you know how many first-home buyers I've spoken to that don't even know they have to pay stamp duty?
Yep.
Like that's not a small cost. It's almost as large as the deposit, depending on what you buy, obviously.
50 odd thousand on $1 million property, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so yeah, I went pretty hard on that one last year too. But it's good to hear that I'm not the only one that's screaming about this online. You just made me feel a little bit more comfortable.
Can I just on that too? The catch-22 to getting into the market on a 5% deposit. If you're buying in the wrong area, Joey, Nick, if you're buying in the wrong area at the wrong time, and you refinance to pull out and go get another property, there is a scenario where that property can be worth less than what the finance is owing on it.
Interesting. I elaborate on that. What does that look like? As in, what areas? What are the warning signs? Do you know anything like that?
Yeah, well, the warning signs are, off the bat, supply and demand on the high end, right?
Okay.
So we want to see how much stock is on market at any particular time.
Right.
If we're seeing over the past 12 months that stock is starting to cool off in terms of we're seeing more on the market, there's more supply saturation, and we're not as confident that that will be absorbed as quickly into the market. For investment grade areas, we want to see not only stock on market down at very critically low levels, we want undersupply, but also in terms of demand, days on market, how long does it take for a property to sell? We want that to be below 35 days on average in any particular area. Yeah. Not only at 35 days, we want that trend to be going down. So that in the future, it's kind of proportionately going to decrease in days on market, and the demand will increase over time.
So I know there's areas like Box Hill that aren't growing as fast as expected because there's now an oversupply in the market.
Yep.
But I also know there's places in Victoria that their days on market are starting to decrease.
Yeah.
Now, I was against Victoria, then I was advocating for, and now I'm completely against it again.
Well, the Victorians, they're not going for investors, right? Because they're the only ones that have been able to increase supply to some extent. That's why property values and stuff are not so much going down, but staying stable.
There are markets within markets. They're probably looking into areas where they are cooling off because you're seeing a ton of buildings being put into certain areas.
Yeah, okay.
That's good for people who want to get into affordable markets because they're building new homes, and I think about a pretty quick turnaround in terms of build times too, which is good. Yeah. Good for Vic. Good on it.
Yeah.
But we're particularly advocating for areas in Victoria where there's not much supply.
Yeah.
They're not building new land in areas. So we want land constrained.
That makes complete sense.
So we're looking at Brighton's, because I know Brighton's really expensive.
It is. So maybe I'll go a little bit further down. I'll go into maybe the Frankston LGA.
Okay.
That's a gem, by the way, for anyone at the moment looking at property. Frankston
General
LGA.
advice only.
GA, yeah. Frankston LGA is a wonderful area. And obviously, when we talk about LGAs, there are some poor areas I wouldn't touch with my life depended on it. And there are some areas that, I'd put my money in there any day of the week.
Yeah, okay.
So, free.
Would you be able to tell us, what is a real success story from Victoria that you've had?
Yeah, actually, client of mine, we purchased in the Melton LGA. That's up northwest of Melbourne. Melton LGA purchase. It settled in October for I think about 684,500, and we just got a reval back. It came back at I believe it's 725,000. Oh, so that's 4 months. Yeah, effectively about $10,000 worth of capital growth on average every month for the past 4 months. So that's what I used to make back in Macquarie. I used to make 10.5 a month in my pocket every month net. Yeah, this lady bought a property and. Bless her, she's pretty much on par with what I was making back in corporate.
The problem is I find with individuals when they're looking to borrow or they're looking to invest in property, they don't understand something called return on capital. And return on capital is actually a bigger thing than return on investment. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, when you're talking about return on capital, you want to know that you're getting your kind of dollar for dollar plus back on your investment. So if it's costing her about on $500,000 asset, it's costing her maybe $70,000 to buy the property. She's effectively almost made that return in about 4 months.
So that's the best way to kind of, people always look at ROI, but they don't look at ROC.
So when we're talking about return on investment, for those who don't know, what numbers are we looking at? Are they not the same numbers?
No, they're not, because the return on investment is this is how much I've invested in it, but this is the total value of the property and the money that I keep putting back into the property.
Okay.
Return on capital is a little bit different. So let's say you bought $1 million house in Sydney. But how much did you need to buy the $1 million house? You needed $100,000 for the deposit and $50,000 for the stamp duty. So $150,000. But that property grows to $1.5 million, let's say, for example, in a year. Your return on investment might be 150%.
Okay.
But your return on capital is also higher because you only injected initially $150,000 to be able to purchase that. And if you've got a good broker, doesn't have to be me. If you've got a good broker, and they set you up with, hey, you've got some good cash flow. Why don't we go for an interest-only option here? Speak to your accountant. That might be a great idea for you. Then you could possibly offset the losses on the interest as negative gearing.
Okay.
So not only are you getting an asset that's growing, but you're also getting a higher return on your income via the negative gearing aspect of it. So people with good accountants or good financial advisors know how to advocate for this. And this is how you're getting individuals out there purchasing more and more property because they know how to set up these sorts of facilities. Unfortunately, people see these individuals with these facilities and go, I'm going to go buy a property. I'm going to use a 5% deposit. And that's where they get stung because they don't have the cash flow that these other individuals do. So like return on capital, let's say you spent 150,000, now it's worth 1.5, 1.5 minus, you're getting a 300% return on capital, 400% return on capital, something along the lines of that. Okay, $450,000 growth.
If he's got the maths wrong, let us know in the comments.
That's a brain tickler.
No, but $1 million property, $50,000 stamp duty, that's 150K. Okay, so that means you spent $1,050,000. If it's gone up to 1.5 mil, that means that there's a $450,000 increase. 450,000 divided by 150,000, 300%.
There you go. I'm going to take your word for it.
I could be wrong. Guys, I could be wrong. Nick's looking at me right now. He's like,
I'm computing in my mind right now because I think your brain is working off a time where you're at your mental peak right now, considering you might have been awake from 3 a.m.
There are times where he comes into the office, he starts throwing numbers at me, and honestly, it's just a monkey playing symbols in my head.
Joey, I'm on coffee number 1, man. Let me get to number 3.
I've got a degree in maths.
Well, there you go, man.
Yeah. This is all right. It looks like we're going to lifestyle and having a bit of a joke here now, but I don't know what I was going to do after uni. I had no idea. I got a degree in economics and maths, and I am the world's biggest salesperson. You're going to get me to be an actuary? I would lose my mind. I would bounce off the walls. I'd smash my head into a wall sort of thing.
That's crazy.
So I started applying for jobs. I thought I was like, when I was at Macquarie, I thought I was going to be at MacCap or something like that.
Right.
I thought I was in capital markets. Bro, they gave me a credit policy and they gave me a calculator. They said, go write home loans. I was like, okay. I didn't know the first thing about a mortgage 10 years ago. Now, like, thankfully, I do. Thankfully, we're in trouble. But like, that's the thing.
We're not even dissimilar because I didn't know what I was going to do after school either. I ended up doing business and English. And then eventually down the line, I'm in marketing, which I guess is a mixture of those two.
There you go, man.
He was a teacher for a while as well.
Yeah.
That was I was a hot second was going to be a teacher. Then I realized no.
Yeah, no,
But that's like, this is the good thing. Like, you're a co-host on a finance show. If you're able to be a teacher, you're probably the best sort of co-host, except you don't have kids screaming at you in the class.
It's true. I actually had very good rapport with the kids. It was more the staff room that I had issues with.
Staff room politics.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Now, look, you pivot where you need to in life. You
Exactly.
never know where you're going to end up in 5 years, let alone 2 years from now.
It's true. As long as you sort of keep chipping away at what you like to do, you never know where life takes you.
Can you tell me why you stay away from off the plan?
Oh,
Whoa. Let's ruffle a few feathers, shall we?
Yes, let's do.
Look, off the plan, I don't like them off the bat because of the stigma associated with buyer's agents getting involved with off the plan. Now, I know you know what I'm going to say.
I'm licking my lips here.
So there may be situations where it could be worth it, right? People can make money by the time it settles and yada, I get that. But I don't want a perception of a conflict of interest in the work that I do, in the sense that I don't want anyone to think, nor will I accept a commission from a developer to give an off the plan property to a client, because effectively I'm a salesperson at that point. I'm not a buyer's agent. I'm not, in my opinion, I'm not acting in my client's best interests. What I do look at though is, before I even look at a property or a suburb, I'm looking at their brief. What do they want? What are they trying to achieve? 10 times out of 10 with all the clients I've had so far, they're not pointing to off the plan.
Yeah.
It's supply saturation is another point. I mean, I
Yeah.
can go into that. We can talk about that forever.
Yeah.
You know, but they're just two very big reasons why I don't like off the plan.
Man, I've got some horror stories for you. Deal with the buyer's agent right now. I'm not going to name who because I don't like disparaging anyone, but except for Albo. But
It's all right. It's his job. He's the prime minister.
yeah, that's right. But listen to this horror story. This is cooked, and this is a warning and why you should go to buyer's agents that are ethical. They sold the client a property a few months ago. Client got the completion certificate. The property is based in WA. They've got different laws to New South Wales. And they said 20th of the 2nd, we received the completion certificate. 24th of the 2nd, the valuation report was complete. And there was a little bit of commentary on it that confused us. It said, as if complete. And then we went further down and there's a garage door missing and the kitchen's not done. So we've got a developer that has said, hey, this property is finished. We need you to settle. We've got the buyer's agent. We're kind of sitting there and going, hey, like you need to settle.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, hold on a second. This isn't ready to settle. So I emailed them and they go, oh, no, wait. They didn't even say anything. They completely ignored my email. We got another email saying, are you ready to settle on this date, 6th of March? And I go, is the property done? Like, this doesn't make sense to me. We're approved subject to valuation. And they go, yeah, it's done. We send the valuer out again. We get the valuation report back and it says, property is still not complete, still missing a kitchen. And then they issue the client a notice to complete and say, if you don't settle by the 13th of March, we're going to rescind your contract and put you in default.
Hey.
Now this client, great client, she's got the money needed if she needs to settle. But like, this is really unethical behavior that I've never seen before. And they're also ignoring, like, don't get me wrong. If there's a completion certificate, you should have a kitchen, right?
Hopefully, right? You want to be able to
I'm just double checking because
I feel like it's one of the major things you do in a home, right?
like you need doors. Doors are important. Like, you know, you need security, right? Like I'm just kind of baffled at the fact that it seems arrogant that they sent out the completion, the notice to complete or the notice to default.
Was this the developer or the agent?
I don't know what I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what I don't know, nor am I going to say anything.
Yeah.
However, I'm pretty sure the completion certificate needs to be certified, doesn't it?
Pretty sure it does need to be certified. How can they certify it if it's not if there's no, if it's not occupational worthy, right? You're not going to sign off on that. No kitchen.
So I'm actually going through this right now. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm very perplexed. We've got the lawyers involved in everything, but you got to tell me, man, because this is more your world than mine. I just handle the money. You got to be a part of the legal stuff, you know. And you're also a lawyer. Are you still admitted?
I am, yeah.
Yes. All right, perfect. We can ask you this advice. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the developer liable in this situation?
Like any lawyer will tell you, it depends. It depends. Off the bat, based off what I know, and again, not legal advice, however, there's a duty on the developer to build it to agreement to what they agreed on. I'm sure they signed a contract to the effect of what's meant to be included in the home, right? I don't imagine a world or a scenario where a developer will be able to omit any certain developments in part of the home and get away with it and owed their full fee. So go for gold.
Okay.
Go for gold.
Thank you for putting the caveat there. Thank you. But like, I think going back to like off the plan properties and stuff and like why you're specializing in established, I think that story that I've just given, even though I have bought off the plan before and I have invested my money into that stuff, you gotta dot your I's, cross your T's. Have you bought off the plan before?
I haven't. I almost actually fell victim back in 2018 to a buyer's agent who tried to get me to off the plan. They didn't tell me it was off the plan. They just said to me, it's a house.
Okay.
So I figured this out after the high pressure sales pitch in their office. When I walked out, they told me, okay, you're going to buy one property, you're going to structure it this way, and you're going to get a portfolio and you're going to make that much money. And then he said to me, look, our fee is about $30,000. However, when the property settles, we'll refund you about $25,000. So it's only costing you about $5,000.
What?
What's going on there, right?
Yeah.
I walked out, did a bit of digging, and effectively they're offering you, the buyer, they're offering me a rebate because they're getting a clip off the developer on the back end. So when the developer pays them on settlement, they're getting paid, it could be 30 grand, could be 40, could be 50 grand.
Whatever, you don't know.
So they're making money on both ends. I just don't, I don't like that.
Double
One
dipping.
vehicle.
Double dipping.
Yeah.
How can you, as a buyer's agent, how can you go to bed at night knowing that you're not taking care of your clients? Start with
Yeah.
the brief. I think a lot of them, because they have these agreements or relationships with developers, and the developers have a bunch of stock to get rid of. Their first priority as a buyer's agent is, okay, how many can I get off the developer to sell to my clients? So you're not a buyer's agent, you're a sales agent.
Yeah.
That aside, and land as well, man. Land. These lots are being cut into 200-300 square meter blocks.
Yeah.
Well,
Can't do anything with it.
Yeah, we've seen the pictures of the roofs.
Yeah.
Just not quite touching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can I ask you, I've got my issues with the broking industry and how easy it is for somebody to be able to handle passports and tax file numbers now. And that's why, I've started Home Loan Uni. Can I ask you, what changes would you like to see in the buyer's agent industry?
A conflict of interest register, number one, off the bat.
I can't believe that's not already part of the legal framework that you're operating in. Interesting.
I think change is coming, and
Yeah.
change is coming big to the industry, as it should.
Okay.
There's too many cowboys in the industry. Admittedly, we're not breaking any news here, but there's a low barrier to entry in our field. And what do you get with a low barrier of entry? You get low quality people, because I think a lot of people have seen the ads online, make 10 to 30K per deal. If you don't have anything else going for you, I'm sorry, and you see that ad and you fall for it, front of mind is money for you, not the client.
Yeah.
So
true.
let's have a lot more transparency in the industry.
And what kind of qualifications do you need for a buyer's agent? Do you have to get like a Cert 4, or is there no qualification?
So in order to have your own buyer's agency operation, your own business, you need to have a Class 1 real estate license, which I have, and anyone that has their own business has. So if you're a real estate agent, whether you're on the buy or the sell side, you need the same qualification.
Okay. So there is some barrier to entry.
Yeah, but it's a 1-day course online, isn't it? Like with one of those registered certifiers, and then you could it's chat GPT assignments basically.
Pretty much. And a lot of them will probably even give you the answers on the call too. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
here's what you need to fill out, and then you know what I mean?
It's like getting your boat license.
Pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Right. Like that's what she just kept saying to us. And
And it's scary, man.
I think a change is necessary, because I've been a broker now for, I've been in the banking industry since 2018 or 2016, sorry.
Yeah.
And a buyer's agent when I first started was very rare. It wasn't a common, this is an everyday thing. Now it seems like you can't even buy a property if you don't have a buyer's agent. Like it's gotten to the level where you can't source or you can't find something unless you get a buyer's agent. So people are going more towards it. However, if we have this conflict of interest occurring, man, fuck, that's bad.
Well, it's a perfect storm, right? A new popular thing with a low barrier to entry, with almost like a requirement for people who are uneducated in the property market trying to enter, and there's going to be some dodgy dealings on the side.
100%.
Well, like within that,
100%.
so you got to do your research on who you're working with.
Do you have any horror stories of like people that worked with a previous buyer's agent and then came to you?
Well, I actually have, but I have a personal horror story from a buyer's agent that I worked with. I paid a buyer's agent and I got my money back off them too. So even I can speak from my own personal experience. I bought a property off a buyer's agent in Lavington in New South Wales, right on the border near Albury, Wodonga, down Victoria region. 393,500, bought it for sight unseen. As you do as a client, you expect the buyer's agent to know what they're getting into for you. And he significantly, grossly understated the amount of work required to get it into a tenantable condition. He goes, look, you got a cheap deal, mate. Just do a, lick of paint, maybe some flooring.
Yeah.
Good to go. Man, I spent about $60,000 in 8 months of my time getting that into a tenantable condition. So that was untenanted for 8 months. I lost rental income for 8 months.
Yeah.
And you name it, everything was broken. It was an 80-year-old lady that lived in there, and it was a 1960s build, I think, and it was very unmaintained.
Jesus.
60 grand out of my, so I bought it for 393,500.
Yeah, that'll cost you 450. Yeah. And then all the interest repayments and everything.
Exactly.
So let's go another 25K.
Yep.
So you're out of pocket already 485.
Exactly. Guess how much I sold it for a year later?
I'm gonna go with 350.
No, actually, I think I'd.
I went lower because like this is a horror story. But
So horror story, but thankfully not that much of a horror story.
A happy ending.
So kind of. So in for about 485 total, I sold it for 500. So I held it for a year, 15 grand, right? But 15 grand to hold for a year, that turned me off completely because everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Yeah.
And I told that particular buyer's agent, here's my brief. My brief is I want a hotspot. I want an area that is intentionally volatile where I can take advantage of its rampant growth in 2 years or less and have some significant equity upside, go off and then buy into a better area with better fundamentals.
Yeah.
I got the opposite of that. And I wasn't any the wiser until I put my money into it and I found out the hard way. So that shaped my experience. That shapes how I work too.
So what are the top 5 things you're asking a client to help mitigate or help understand their risk profile?
Well, number one, their budget. Their budget's going to dictate the market they can get into. Their budget, their investment time horizon. So how long do you actually want to hold the property for? Do you want a short-term, medium-term, long-term 7+ year hold? That's going to dictate the level of fundamentals and how solid the fundamentals in the area need to look. Economic diversity, population growth, stuff like that. And then we look at how soon do you want to be able to extract equity? They're the kind of the top 3. Okay. And if they want to extract equity in 2 years, we need something that's doing at least 20% growth on average over 2 years to be able to go back up to a reasonable LVR. Okay. If they want 3 years, it's a different area. If they want 4 years plus, again, it's a different market. So that's going to dictate the velocity of growth in a particular area that we enter. And then moreover, on top of that, we layer on top their goals. You know, why do you want to buy property? Like we don't just buy it for the sake of it. We buy it for a reason. So I get to really, really understand. And that's a fun part of my job, understanding what they want to get out of it. What are their long-term goals, short-term goals, and then we'll reverse engineer it from the end all the way back down to that first purchase.
Makes sense to me.
That's pretty amazing. This is how I can tell Nick's different.
Yeah.
If I was going to the buyer's agent that question, they're going to be going, what paid?
Well, he's the only other buyer's agents that I've ever heard bring up ethics.
JP, we love you. Manny, we love you. I love those boys.
So this is all true.
They say ethics as well. Don't worry about that. Yeah, they're good boys, man. That's awesome, man. So in saying all of that, what are your top 3 areas right now that you're purchasing in? General advice.
Yeah.
General advice only.
Yeah.
Top 3 areas. So this is based on, again, client's brief. It'll vary, but
personal experiences as well. This is discretionary, objective data.
It's not objective.
No, it's not objective. Subjective data.
Subjective.
Subjective opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, very subjective. So at the moment, we're looking in the Penrith LGA.
Yeah.
If they have a budget of up to 1.4.
Oh, Penrith's psycho right now.
It's absolutely bonkers. Yeah. Again, there are areas I wouldn't touch if my life depended on it, but there are areas in there that I will absolutely put my money in any day of the week. Penrith LGA, Newcastle LGA. So we're talking Sydney right now. Again, some really, really good areas. I'll drop one. Stuff it. We'll drop a gem. Charlestown. Charlestown in Newcastle. And there are obviously a couple others we'll look into within the Newcastle LGA. To get into there, give yourself a budget of anywhere, to get into Newcastle, good areas between 900 and 1.4, you'll get something really, really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Within, half an hour drive to the middle of Newcastle, CBD. In Victoria, though, there are a couple really good areas. So I touched on Frankston LGA. Frankston, you need a bit of a higher entry point to get in there. So Frankston, Hume LGA, KC LGA, Melton LGA, Whittlesea LGA. Yeah. Man, I'm dropping gems here.
Brother, I've asked you for 3. You went for 10.
There you go. So a lot of really good areas, man. And I love Victoria. It's an affordable market to get into for people who can't get into an entry-level asset in Sydney or in New South Wales alone. Let's go to Vic. And the fundamentals are there. And I'm a big fan of it, man.
Oh, I hate Victoria.
I was going to say, it's very, very different opposing views here.
No, I'll tell you what. I actually love people from Melbourne.
Yeah, no, we're just talking about the property market.
No. But you know me. No, but we talked about property before. We talked about all that sort of stuff. I only like buying places where I can imagine myself living, and I am an empathetic person. So I will sit there and I'll go, if I was a tradie here, would I want to live here? Yeah. Sort of thing. And right now, they're doing work from home 2 days a week in legislation. Okay, it is that she wants to legislate it. Yeah. The crime's up. There's police. Look, bro, I'm sorry, I'm ragging on here. This is opinion only. Crime's up. There's issues with corruption in the government, all that stuff. And I just kind of sit there and I go, do I personally want to invest somewhere, or would I look at somewhere? And this has been a hot market for a minute now, like Brisbane. And I kind of look at it and I go, man, I kind of want to park my money up there because Gold Coast exploded over the last 7 years.
Well, they've got the Olympics coming as well. There's a lot of investment.
But the Olympics is still 6 years away.
No, but what I mean is that, like, there's money being funneled into, well, Queensland State.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I just kind of look at it and I go, bro, I want to park my money up there as opposed to parking it in Vic. And I do understand barriers of entry, price points, all
There's a few
those
things
sorts
that
of
go
things.
into it,
But
yeah.
just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't advocate for my money.
Yeah.
Okay, this is just my opinion for my personal situation. I can't advocate for my money going there. I was planning to buy down there last year, and I just kind of not for me.
What about Adelaide? I never hear anything about Adelaide. I know growth has been solid there and stuff like that, but nothing crazy. Is anything going on there?
Insert the cricket sound effects right here.
Yeah.
Do that, Adelaide. Look, I'm not dumping on Adelaide at all. I'm just not active in that market. I believe for that same dollar value, you can get into better markets. You know, when you think about Australia, you think Sydney, Melbourne.
Yeah. Well, they're
Right?
the primary ones. Yeah. for
Primary
sure.
ones, right?
Yeah.
So they are, in my opinion, they're global cities. Sydney more than Melbourne.
I agree. Yeah.
Brizzy's up there too. Don't get me wrong.
It's starting to grow.
It's
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
I was there recently. It still feels like a small, big city, almost like a big town.
Yeah.
It's not like quite reached that level of like a big metropolitan.
It's Wollongong.
a little bigger than Wollongong, but yes, it's on
it's
that
got that
end.
vibe. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
got that vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can I ask you? You don't like, you like like working in places that you've got experience in everything. The 5% deposit scheme, which we all know I'm against, okay, or the changes to the 5% deposit scheme,
I think it's really
has that affected your line of work? And have you seen a massive uptick in demand from those particular individuals?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Unequivocally, without a doubt. Now, where we run into an issue, though, is you're getting a lot of unassuming and very eager first-time buyers to get into the market and take advantage of that scheme,
Yeah.
only for them to find out that, unfortunately, more often than not, they can't afford the finance on the 95% remaining on that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
the monthly repayments and
Exactly.
such. Yeah.
Can I ask you why they can't afford it? Do you know?
Income's not there.
Yeah.
The affordability is not there. And also, don't you have to be, you have to live in the property, don't you?
Yes.
That's correct.
So, I mean, how are you going to live in that property if you can't afford?
Yeah, the way I had to do it was buy with my siblings. It was the only way, just for Sydney prices and everything like that, unless it was a small apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have $1 million to spend
Yeah.
and you live in Campbelltown, but to buy an investment property, there's nothing investment grade in Sydney, I would say, for $1 million, hypothetically speaking. And that only viable location would be in another state or somewhere far away from where you usually live. How are you going to be eligible for that scheme?
You're not. This is. I'm so happy I have someone else saying this. I feel like all this relief is off my shoulders. That's true, though.
It's true.
Dude, let me say it from a broker's perspective. I've got somebody in front of me that's earning $95K a year, and they want to go and purchase an investment property. I could probably get them about $750 to $800K as a pre-approval, as long as they got a deposit, yada yada. If they use the first home loan deposit scheme, as it used to be called, or if they use the first home guarantee, you don't get to apply the negative gearing rules, and you also don't get to apply the rental income rules, okay, or assume your rental income, your tenancies and stuff. So you're losing, let's say from the rental, you're losing 30 grand a year there, shaded down 80% down to 80%, you're at 24,000. And then the negative gearing, that's all the interest extra repayments that you make. So you can't service the loan. And this is my key issue. The government released this last year. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, they made their changes last year in October. Okay. Without making any changes to supply. And people are going to be put in financial stress. Why? Because now they're increasing the interest rates. So if you had a broker that had you servicing by $1 or $2, and then your interest rates jump 0.75%, you can't turn it into an investment property and move out of it without being stung for LMI, without being stung a fine because you lied to the government and didn't tell them that you were moving out. So the government's going to, I believe they're going to face a backlash, even though I was the only one screaming about this last May, and now all of a sudden every broker's on this thing. But genuinely, I am proud of the fact that I've said it time and time again. I'm proud of the fact that we only used the scheme 3 times last year. Because if you're investing in property, and this is, if you're investing in property, number one, your borrowing capacity is higher. But number two, there are lenders out there that are actually supporting people investing in property now. Unbank, Okay, Ubank will let you borrow up to 90%, no LMI for $2 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Then we've got lenders like Resi Essentials, okay, which is connected to our panel or our aggregator, Yellow Brick Road. They'll let you do monthly LMI,
Okay.
okay?
Yep.
And then refinance out and you don't have to pay the whole lender's mortgage insurance amount and use it as an investment as well, okay? Those two lenders on their own are doing more, I believe, for people that are looking to grow their asset portfolio. I'm not talking about people that want to just buy a house and live it, okay? If you want to buy a house, you want to live in it, that's cool. You can have your $1 million mortgage, but young people in Australia, what are they trying to do? First home buyers, what are they trying to do? They're trying to buy an asset, they're trying to invest, and they're trying to grow. And that scheme is not letting them do that.
Yeah.
No.
But
Setting them up to fail. Sorry.
yeah, no, you're fine. So I'm just curious: is the issue
The issue was an election and Alba wanted to win it. That's it.
No. Of course. No, I meant the removal of the income caps. Is that what's really causing this? But obviously, supply was already an issue because we haven't increased supply nationwide. And then with the removal of the income caps, because this whole point is that it's the first home guarantee, it's not the first investment guarantee.
Correct.
So you're supposed to live in it. It's just a place to live in. But now, if you are, what was the income cap before? 105,000?
125,000.
125,000.
So 125,000 as an individual, 200,000 as a couple. But you brought up a good point. The removal of the income cap was the biggest issue, I believe, personally. And the reason why I say, and the amount that you could purchase for.
Yeah.
So they were the two, there was one other change, but they were the two major ones.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why they are the biggest issues is because the 5% deposit scheme on its initial inception was to help lower income borrowers
Yes.
get access to the market.
Yes.
So if you're earning $150,000 a year, your competitive advantage when going to auction was, I earn $150,000 a year. I can save a 20% deposit faster because I earn more than you. The person that's earning $60,000 a year had a competitive advantage where, well, you've got bad savings patterns. You can't actually get to a 20% deposit, but I've had good savings patterns and I've been a good person. I should afford my own home, so I can get a 5% deposit.
Yes.
And this is where the issue is. They've removed the competitive advantage for any lower income earners, but also told the high income earners, just go buy a property up to 1.5 mil. And the high income earners are now also getting stuck because all of a sudden the interest rates go up and they're being told, oh, you can buy with just a 5% deposit. But guess what? If you can't afford it anymore, that's on you. And we're not going to increase supply of anything. So your inflation's going to go up. So your interest rates are going to go up anyways.
And really, it all just boils down to a supply issue. Like that is the biggest, really when it boils down. Because if you...
No. It's not just a supply issue.
Yeah. No. Just in this specific scenario.
No, it's not.
Right?
But they did not need to change the policy framework. Okay.
Yeah.
Entirely.
Yeah. Okay.
Why did they remove an income cap?
It's contrary to the policy intent, right?
Yes.
So I
agree. Yeah.
yeah,
It was the initial inception, low income earners. Low income was considered 125 or under just over a year ago.
Yeah.
Now, go.
So question, hypothetical, if they kept the income cap but didn't remove the price cap, would that have changed it? Was that even feasible? Because property prices going up.
All that would have happened is all the apartments in Sydney would be going for 900,000 or more.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's what I was curious about. Yeah.
I think to myself, this scheme probably going to get removed.
Well, doesn't seem like it's sustainable.
It's going one way or the other. It's either going to get removed completely because they're going to be like, oh shit, we lent out a bunch of money we shouldn't have. And now all these people are going to get hit with fines, or they're going to increase the caps again because they're going to be like, oh, you can't afford property again. Here you go.
Yeah.
And it's going to qualify for these mortgages, you need to be earning, and you've heard me harp on about this before, but to get a $1.425 million mortgage in Sydney, you need a $75,000 deposit. You need to have $67,500 left aside for stamp duty. And then on top of that, you need to be earning a household income of $250,000. Do you know how many households in Australia earn an income of $250,000 without rental income? 3%.
And might I add, they're not the people who need to rely on a 5% deposit.
Yeah, exactly. They're the ones that can afford it or these things already.
Yeah.
And well, That is all we have time for. Because if we keep going, oh boy, we will just keep going because this has been a good chat.
No, I'll go for it. Don't worry about that.
I'm well aware.
Nick, you provided some genuine insight that most people don't hear from buyer's agents.
Mm-hmm.
And you provided some very strong ethical and moral grounds to build your business on. Where can people find you online?
Easy. So nick.bmoney, Instagram, or just hit me up directly. Even like I'm accessible on my phone. So 0457 177 550. I'm easy to get in contact with.
You are brave.
Or nick@bmoney.com.au. Hit me up. I'm looking forward to it.
And if you need help with any of your finances, you can reach out to B Money Finance as well. But if Hamish or Yusuf are busy or Bora's busy, you can go to itsimple.com.au. We're more than happy to assist you with your refinances, your purchases, or anything that you're looking to do either. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Joe. He's Michael. That's Nick. And thank you for tuning in to the Finance Show with Joe.